If you enjoy reading new comic books, you're in the right place. Sit down, buckle up, subscribe. Welcome to the channel. I'm Comic Man Andy. Happy New Comic Book Day, everybody. Like I said, if you enjoy reading new comic books, you are in the right spot. It's New Comic Book Day Wednesday. And we've got a stack of books to talk about tonight, like we do every week here on the channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit one of those reaction buttons, and come hang out and buckle up for some fun content. Because that's right. We're here to be a part of the community, talk comic books. You know what that means? The year of 2023 is that of the comic community. So for the entire year of 2023, we're giving back to the community. Every live CGC unboxing that we do on the channel, we'll have a live CGC giveaway in the live chat. Got to be there for that. It's going to be a ton of fun. We've already done 3 giveaways for this year, and we're well into February. We got another box ready to go here soon in a week or so. I haven't quite decided. Kind of let it build up, you know. Can't quite remember what's in there. We're gonna see what happens, but it's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day. I know a ton of people out there love reading new comic books, and I do as well. So we're getting ready to get into this. We're gonna get into the chat. We're gonna follow the usual format. So we'll start with the chat. We'll get into the books. We'll go over some announcements, see how everybody's doing, and I want you guys, the community, to share in the chat what your favorite read of the week is going to be, or what you're most excited for when you get to your LCS to pick up, because there's nothing better than a good read on a Wednesday. Some good energy to get you through the week. We had GT Key Comic. What is up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Longtime Sibbleman's Comics Patreon member and follower. Heading on over with the following of the show now, Tuesday Comic News Weekly, coming over to the channel here. And Paul Dunn, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. He says, hey-oh. Paul is part of another contest. Make sure you check out Paul on IG. He needs everybody's support to win that contest, right, Paul? Not much, just reading. It's Wednesday. You guys will love to pick away at me for this Wednesday, because the first thing that I did this Wednesday, I fell asleep as soon as I got home. I did get some reading in, but holy moly, you get to the middle of the week, you sit down, and all of a sudden you take a breath and bam, you're out. What's up, Mom? Good to be here. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Ryan Adams, good to see you as well. It was a big week. Literally almost 50% of the Star Wars titles coming out right now dropped today. That makes for a big week, but so does a lot of great indies, a lot of great DC books, and a lot of great Marvel books hitting the shelves today. Come on, mamas in the chat. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you and the mini CEO are having an amazing Wednesday with Zuni, and we will see how long this goes tonight, right? Mama Patrick, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Captain Comics, ahoy, mates and mermaids. Captain Brother, got a question for you. Do you know why pirates never shower before they walk the plank? Because they usually wash up on shore. Oh, no. Zuni with a $5 super chat. That's a great opportunity to discuss. Hey, all of the super chats, all the super stickers, all the ad revenue, the monetization, everything of the channel for the entire year of 2023 goes back to the comic community. Like we said, the year 2023 is that of the comic community, and everything the channel earns is going to be spent on key graded comic books. However, whether it's $50 or $500, we're going to find some books to buy to give away at the end of the year as a special giveaway, saying thank you to supporting the channel, giving back to the community. Like we said, any CGC unboxing we do live this year on the channel, there's going to be a CGC giveaway or a CBCS giveaway. We haven't done a CBCS unboxing just yet, but there is the community box where we keep stacking slabs in there. We're having some fun doing random pulls there for the community. Ahoy, Captain Zuni. Looking forward to reading Horror 1. Now, I stopped and I looked at it. I did not pick it up. We're attempting to be as disciplined as possible right now with our pull list, which means we've been more interested in Star Wars, so we've been reading more Star Wars. And I'm kind of waiting to shed some more indie titles to introduce some new indie titles. So Horror Wars probably one that I'm going to read on Comixology. It sounds really cool. Ryan, thanks for bringing that up, because I do want to read that. It's just I was probably 6 additional books today that I did not pick up just because it starts to add up. And as you guys can see, it wasn't a light week. It was a heavy week for a lot of people. And to be honest with you, half of this stack is only 3 titles. We're going to talk about some variant stuff coming up here in a minute too, because holy ho, got to give the patented holy sheet. There's a lot of variants today. We're going to dive into the books, and as more people continue to come into the chat, we will discuss how they're doing and what they're reading right now. Yes, Mom, remember we discussed that already. That Star Wars soap was pretty slick. Get it? Star Wars soap, pretty slick. they're just coming out organically now. Holy moly! You went to the library today and asked for a book on Pavlov's dog and Schrodinger's cat. Why? The librarian said it rang a bell, but she didn't know if it was there or not. Wow, Mom, we gotta get there. Gotta get there for that joke, right? Holy moly. We've heard some good ones, but we're starting off strong with Marvel. No DC pickups this week. Like we said, we're being disciplined. But what I will say is there were several DC books that I should have picked up. Now, my buddy at the LCS, Andrew, said, hey, Batman was probably one of the best Batman reads he's had in a decade. And I'm like, man, I should really pick that up. And I didn't, and I should have. That's one that I really need to get into this last chunk of Batman. I felt very similarly when, we hit like, I don't know, 100, 101, 102, 103, and I started picking them up and reading them. And, I kind of fell off and then dropped Batman, and maybe I should pick it back up. Batman's just not one of my go-to characters to read, and neither is Superman, which makes picking up DC books on New Comic Book Day, Tuesday for DC, more difficult. And then picking up on Wednesday, I'm kind of looking, and it's like, there's some cool covers, and I guess I should probably read Batman, but man, like we said, we're trying to be disciplined with how much we're spending, and we're doing really good for 2023. This may not look disciplined in sheer quantity, but you're going to see pretty much, this is all like 90, I'd say about 85, 90% all cover price books. Really happy to hear that, because you guys know Star Wars titles love to do variants, right? So starting off strong with Marvel, Star Wars High Republic 5. If I remember correctly, Jim's Comics is listing this as a key of the week. There's a first appearance of something here. Kind of, I can't quite remember the name. I zipped through this quickly because, like I said, I fell asleep and slept a lot longer than I should have on the couch before dinner and kind of ran out of time during dinner. And then I even missed the Comic Vet's New Comic Book Day hangout. So I apologize to the new comic book, the Comic Vet, for missing his New Comic Book Day show because he finally watched The Princess Bride. So for those of you over here that did not know, the Comic Vet had never seen The Princess Bride, and he finally watched it. So go over there, check that show out. But this is another one of those Star Wars keys that are talked about as being a key, but is it's just a key in the moment in the High Republic story? Is this going to have any legs? I don't think so. It's just a minor key in my opinion. It'll probably end up in a $5 bin down the line because it's simply because it's listed as a key. Still, because we enjoy reading Star Wars, we're picking up all of them. And I'm going to have to go back and reread from issue 4 to issue 5 because it's only been a month, but somehow my dad brain is having a harder time than normal connecting from last month to this month, from issue 4 to issue 5. And I'm like, what did I miss? And I'm starting to realize that the more Star Wars titles I read, the harder time I'm having differentiating between them because, yeah, I mean, we're on volume 2 of High Republic, and we've got High Republic Adventures, and we also have Hidden Empire today and Darth Vader. Now, obviously, Darth Vader's a standout, right? So all the High Republic variants, cover price, pick those up as well. Black History Month variants are looking really good on all the Star Wars titles. I'm really digging the art, and I like it. It's like a softer feel, kind of an art to it. Like the line work isn't as hard, and the colors seem to be a little bit more just a softer feel. It looks really good in my opinion. The 1 in 25, if for some reason issue 5 of High Republic Volume 2 does anything down the line, then the 1 in 25 would be the book to have. Not a terrible cover, but also not a massively amazing standout cover. It's good art. It's good quality art. But again, I'm asking myself and asking you guys in the community here that are Star Wars fans, if you look back on Star Wars titles over the last 10 years, why does it feel like they're not spending more time? Not the artist. Why is Marvel not spending more time thinking out cover choices for ratio variants? Like it just, I don't know. you look back on the Vader runs and some of the Star Wars runs for Gillen and Pack and Gillen again, you know what I mean? Some of those, the cover artists, that they were just like masterpieces of artwork that just stand out and are timeless in some cases, especially from some of the Vader stuff. But I digress a little bit. We're 10 minutes in and we're only $4 in, because we want to hit up the chat here and again in a minute. Hidden Empire was out, and I'm enjoying this more than I thought. I did buzz through it quickly, so I'm gonna have to read it again. I think I remember Nemesis Prime on the Comic-Con podcast talking about how he wasn't quite sure how he was going to enjoy this, and he's actually surprised that he is enjoying it. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, buddy. Nemesis, I'm trying to remember as I listen onto that show. Listen there. There's the listen there, it says. The connecting variant. So we're doing another connecting variant. So it seems that's just going to have to be the reality, is either I complete the connecting variants or I stop buying them altogether, because it seems like every few months a Star Wars title is running a connecting variant. And then another variant for Hidden Empire. This is a video game variant, if I remember correctly. This is a character from one of the video games, or this is a character from the Hidden Empire story that was in one of the video games. I don't quite remember. I'm not making the connection. The differences in art between the cover and interior art and video game art, I'm just not making that connection. I'd have to look it up again. I vaguely remember on League of Comic Geeks or something else where I saw there was a video game variant. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody in the chat. I'd like the current Vader run. Getting it for the Raza covers alone, but it's a fun read. Now, I'm glad you bring that up, Patrick, because as we buzz through Shelby variant, always love Shelby's artwork, and the Black History Month for Hidden Empire for Finn there. And there it is. Nope, there's not there it is. There is the Lopez 1 in 25 for Hidden Empire 3. I did pick this as one of my covers this week that I was going to look for in the LCS, and obviously I pre-order all these. But anything Vader that looks iconic or the kind of iconic Vader poses stand out to me. So here it is, Vader 31 pack. We are now into the 30s. Patrick says he likes the current Vader run, getting it for the Raza covers, but covers alone, but it's a fun read. This is, in my opinion, the best Star Wars title ongoing. Still really enjoying this quite a bit. Now, I did fall off on a couple of issues, and I'm working on getting caught back up. I did go through this, and this is just another solid Vader read. Not knocking my socks off, nothing super crazy, but it's a solid Vader read. Pat continues to deliver a great Vader read every month. So not going to slow down on, or not going to let go of buying the Vader books. And the U variant, this was another cover that I really liked. And I was actually surprised to find out this was not a ratio variant. It's cover price, not non-ratio, cover price variant. And I really like this. And I felt like this was going to be difficult to get in a 9.8 because of the mostly white cover. And I like its kind of glow effect that it has. So enjoying that one quite a bit. The 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi is almost going to be impossible to find a clean enough copy to hit a 9.8, because God bless America, look at that spine. And that's not even that bad. The other ones I saw were even worse. And it's just a black border book that is just, depending on how it gets shipped, is going to get demolished. And I don't know. I'm not sending them all out to get graded necessarily, but it would be nice to have that option to have them all high grade. That if I decided to send out 10, 15, 20 from that series, and this is just not going to be one of them. This one's good. Oh boy, that one's going to be like a 9.4. Just that spine got chewed up really good. But it's a solid cover. Absolutely. I love the 40th anniversary covers. Looking really good. And Darth Vader, the Black History Month variant. Like I said, the colors, the lighting, the way it's like a softer piece of art on the cover. It looks good. It looks really good. That's like what we're talking about. Seriously. That's the bulk of the haul. That's the bulk of the haul for the week. Then what's left to talk about are just three other titles. Just 3 other titles. So that was all Star Wars this week. And yes, there were other books that I wanted to read and wanted to pick up. But until I shake the Star Wars bug a little bit, and it might take me a few more weeks, maybe a couple more months, because there seems to be a reoccurring theme with me on this channel is when, like, aside from Vader 1, 2, 3, 4 covers for Vader. All right, not terrible. Quite expected. Hidden Empire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why are there 6 covers for Hidden Empire? Oh, by the way, 1 in 25 Lopez variant, $14. Not bad. Less than half ratio, almost half ratio. Maths are hard. Well under ratio. I love buying ratio variants. The ones that I want to buy and pick up when I'm paying well under ratio for them, I'm really happy about that because it's when they pop off on eBay like a week or two before the title hits that LCSs or other shops want to bump up the price. And my LCS does a great job that, yes, like I'm not paying 80, 90, 100 or $200 like eBay when those prices pop off. But if a book's selling for 100 on eBay, my LCS is going to take a 1 in 25. They're going to ask 50 for it. It's fair of them to do that, in my opinion, because if I want that book right now anywhere else, I'm going to have to pay 100 or more. The other LCS in my town is going to ask eBay price at $100. So my only option, if I want the book on Wednesday for part of the collection and for part of the conversation here with the community, is to pay my LCS's price that that I have a pull subscription with. I'm okay with that, but I'm more okay with paying well under ratio when those books land, and I'm happy for that. I really am. Don't get me wrong, but 6 copies for Hidden Empire 3 for not even, you know what I mean? Nemesis Prime, he gets it, and Nemesis and Zach and Justin, Milton the Manimal, and Nemesis Prime over on the Comic-Con podcast have a much better grasp of the English language and vocabulary than I do, and have the podcast every week. Make sure that you guys listen to them on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple iTunes, all of those, Anchor FM, all those great places to listen to podcasts, because they do a great job explaining variant burnout and other things like this within the community, where it's like, yes, I want to read this title, I want to collect all the copies, and then I don't pay attention to it, and then 3 months later, we're on issue 3, and then I'm buying 6 copies of the same book. Now, granted, I like the artwork better on some than the others, so I think I'm going to have to start employing more of a order me cover A. I'll pick up what's available if I like it, but then the problem becomes when those ratio variants hit for well under ratio, I don't have full access to them because I'm not buying all the titles. What they do is they do a priority list for ratio variants when they order books. If they don't order enough, those ratio variants get on the pull list, go to the first customers that asked for them in the first place. Then they go down to, okay, who's buying all of the covers, who's buying all of the Star Wars titles. It goes to them next, and then whoever's buying cover A would get the next. It's kind of like a tiered system, and it seems very fair for the LCS to do that. I'm assuming heavily that that's what they're doing, but if I'm understanding how that system works, that's kind of how they do it, which seems very fair. They're rewarding their faithful customers that are buying all of a specific title. And it's just sometimes it gets a little silly to buy 5 of the same, 6 of the same issue to get the ratio variant. But I'll play the game. If I don't want to play the game, it's for my choice to make to stop playing the game. I'm an adult and I'm making adult choices with comic books. You guys know what I'm saying, right? That's why we're here every week talking about that. The last 3 books, then we'll dip into the back of the chat. And you guys, now is a great time to share what books you're reading this week, and also chime in what was your favorite cover of the week as we do these last 3 books. Then we'll hit up the chat. TMNT. Now, I like to say that I buy everything Turtles and send it in the pile for a rainy day. And the Armageddon game is on issue 4. I have not started reading this yet. I've heard good things on the Comic-Con podcast. I've heard good things otherwhere in the community, so I'm excited to read this. But I'm sad to report that I forgot to grab the Krang variant. That cool-looking pink cover that almost makes him look like a chewed-up piece of bubblegum, and I made the joke yesterday on Comic News Weekly about it. It's a bubblegum cover. And I should have picked it up. I didn't. I breezed past it. I saw 1 or 2 copies left on the shelf. And then I was like, well, wait a second. Let me go look for something else. And then I completely forgot to go back to that. Either way, Turtle stuff continues to hit the reading pile. Time Before Time number 20 is out. And I remember, and maybe you guys remember, several months ago into last year, we talked about Time After Time coming to an end. And they announced when the story was going to end. I thought it's over already. And I don't recall. I thought we were on like issue 26, 27, or 28. Maybe I'm remembering Once and Future or something else. But Time Before Time was a book that I struggled with on to issue like 10 and stopped reading because of the way they were moving through Time Before Time. But it's here. I have it. I might as well add it to the pile and make sure that I'm reading this. And I want to get 3, 4, 5 more issues in before I make the determination to really cut it off. I want to give it a fair handshake because the first arc that I got into, I really did enjoy. And it's Shelby. It's Declan Shelby. I've had the honor of interviewing Declan Shelby. I've had the honor of being able to talk to him and ask some questions. And awesome human being, and really, really enjoyed the writing that he's been doing in his artwork. I enjoy Shelby's artwork quite a bit. Bog Bodies is a really cool title that he did that I have the hardback or hardcover for. Another really cool title that I'm hearing good things about is from Lemire Nguyen. Little Monsters issue 10 is out. I love the artwork. I'm a little behind on the story still, but a lot of people in the community have had good things to say, so I'm not dropping this off of my pull list at all. We'll continue to pick this up and work to get caught up. Now, as far as announcements go, as we get into the chat here, as people talk about the copies that they're picking up this week, or the issues you're reading this week and the covers you're reading this week, is one announcement I want to make is we're putting a great deal of time into the Comic Cave down here. And you guys saw the IG post last week or the week before where we bought a substantially large amount of boxes and supplies from BCW. And that order came in. Is we're doing a large overhaul of the way I store the collection. What does that mean? It's not, I'm not moving boxes from one corner of the room to the other room. I'm pulling every box, pulling every title. I'm making sure that every title is not missing an issue or a volume or a chunk. Short of the Punisher stuff that's hard to find that I'm trying to complete, I'm talking New Comic Book Day books, because that's what we're here reading is New Comic Book Day books. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling each title, making sure that I'm not missing anything. And then I'm missing something, I'm cataloging it. I'm putting a note somewhere, because God forbid, I've got it here somewhere. But the problem is I'm not. I've got a table over here with copies of books that are being sorted. I've got a table over there of books that I want to consider screening for CGC. I've got 4, 5, 6 stacks of books back here behind me that I'm prepping to send out for pressing and cleaning and grading for more unboxings. So there's literally books all across this room. And this room is not even the storage room anymore. We've moved the storage room next door and bought new shelving last year, or maybe even the tail end of 2021. And now that is full up. So all of the new boxes are getting pulled. Everything's getting sorted. Everything's getting a good once over. It's like doing a really, really, really long detailed audit or inventory day. If you've ever worked in a store that carries a lot of inventory, once a year, you do like a once a year inventory. We're starting out our spring cleaning early by pulling everything and organizing everything. I want to sit down and I want to read Once and Future from start to finish and be able to put it back to decide if I'm going to throw that as a collector set on eBay. I don't know. I want to make the decision to sit down and read a title and not have an issue missing and then not spend 2 weeks finding it. So what we're doing is we're creating a new system. We're creating a new system after we get this audit done, we get everything cleaned, prepped, and ready, where my process is going to be, because I enjoy living in processes, much like a lot of people, as I enjoy data and processes. I'm going to sit down here with you guys after reading as many books as I have time for on Wednesday. We're going to sit down here. I'm going to do the Wednesday show that I love doing, because you guys bring so much amazing energy every week, and you guys help recharge me every week. And that's going to be the start. Then we're going to take these books. Once we have this audit done and once we have the cleaning and prep done, these books, I prefer to have everything read, bagged, and boarded and done, so that I can take this stack and I can walk right into the storage room and I have all the boxes marked. Now, it didn't dawn on me till just recently that I should be using painter's tape to label the outside of my cardboard short boxes. That makes a lot of sense. You think, well, Andy, if you write something on a box lid, you can just trade lids with another box. That's what I told myself not too long ago. So that's what I was doing for a little while. I've got a couple of lids that I've got some scribbles out and I've redone. Well, it dawned on me last week or the week before, I'll just cut a big chunk of painter's tape and put it right on the top lid and do that. Now I've got it looking really nice and really pretty, and everything's starting to get really organized over there. So the process is going to be Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. We sit down, we read what we can. What doesn't get read is going to sit here right on the counter for me to read after work or when I've got some time. and then they're going to go directly into storage, and I'm going to spend the time to sort and organize, because if I continue to take these and read half of them and then put them on the table over there and then fall 2 months behind, I've got a table full of comic books and only half of them are read, and they all need to be cleaned and organized, and well, not clean, but organized, packed up, put away. It becomes an issue. It's something that I don't know that I really get burnt out on. I enjoy it. It's cathartic. I hear a lot of people in the comic book community talk about sorting and organizing as a cathartic piece of work, or a bit of work, and they enjoy that. And I do too. I like putting in my earbuds, and I like sorting books, and I like the completion. I like the dopamine hit that I get when I drop issues 1 through 6 on a series, that an issue 7's coming out next week. Like, I drop them and then they're complete 1 through 6. There's a bit of a dopamine hit for some people that enjoy data and organizing like I do. That's kind of nice. So, but what is not providing a dopamine hit is that table sitting over there full of books that, and mind you, this is really good after 2 weeks. This is really good. We are down to just they're just down to 8 stacks of books about yay big that I want to finish reading and packing up and putting away. So we're making amazing progress, and I'm really happy with that. So that's kind of why we're a little bit behind on reading books. We're going to hit up the chat, because again, anybody that has a favorite reader this week, please bring it up. I know Batman was something I should not have missed this week. Batman is something that, to try to dive into it right now, is just something I don't have time for. And, trying to curb back some of the extra spending. The Krang book I missed. There's some other Marvel stuff that I missed. The Ghost Rider book. Ghost Rider this week had some amazing covers, but I just don't want to fall into the trap. My trap, not yet. It's not buy what you love and you'll love what you buy. Collect your way, as Two Brothers Comics says. But for me, cover buying is a trap. I love collecting covers, but it's got to be on a title that I'm reading. If I'm just buying a book for a cover, I feel a little sheepish when I find it 6 months or a year later and I've done nothing with it. I didn't grade it. It doesn't have a place or a home in the collection of the full runs that I have over there. And it ends up just sitting in a box that I'm not quite sure what to do with, because I'm not reading the title, and then there's gaps before and after that. So cover collecting for me it's got to be something that I want to get graded. And it's got to be something that, for me, it's got to meet my collecting goals for grading a book. Now, I'm grading a lot of books that don't hit my collecting goals or collecting criteria, because I'm giving away a lot of books. There's a lot of cool stuff that we're adding to the community giveaway box that's getting graded. And, there's a full run of Punisher books. But for a new comic book day book to get graded by me, like spend the time and money, first appearance, it's got to be a solid story. It's got to be a cool fandom that I like being a part of. And there's got to be some buzz within the community. There's got to be a really good reason to spend that $40 to $50 for that grading, besides just getting it graded. Now, a caveat to that, like I said, is there are books going out that don't hit my criteria for grading, but that's because we're giving away a lot of books this year. We're grading a lot of cool stuff. I didn't buy the facsimile Marvel first appearance of Kang today, and I should have. This is a $3.99 cover. I should have bought one to throw in the grading stash, because that would have been cool in the community box for anybody that really wants that book, that can't afford a first appearance, but then they get a nice, easy facsimile reprint, 9.8, 9.6, and then they don't have to spend any of the money, because those facsimile books always seem to go and sell, and they're not printing them on demand. And granted, they're not like super limited, but they almost always are they're $3.99 cover price. They almost always turn in to like a $60, $70, $80 slab on the market on eBay somewhere else secondary. So it just makes sense to buy it for $3.99 and pay $20 to $24 to grade it and then give it away. You know what I mean? That just kind of makes sense. So let's hit up the chat here. I've been rambling on for at least a solid 15 minutes. I see a lot of new people coming in. And there it is. Patrick says, yes, she was in the video game first, and her first cover was Bounty Hunters variant that looked like a poster with all the heads. I do remember that. Patrick is referring to the Hidden Empire cut. There we go. That's the cover that Patrick's referring to right there. It's video game variant. So thank you for corroborating my dad brain. Josh, what is up? No, don't put user in timeout. What are we talking about? Josh, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Holy moly. Favorite covers, the Disney variant for Spidey. Yes, I did want to get those as well, and I agree. Slam dunk covers. There's a lot of collectors out there talking about them, but what was nice is they didn't like come up and smack everybody in the face and turn into $100 and $150 books this week. There's some on the shelf ready to grab. So either that's has to do with demand being low, or people aren't paying attention to FOC. Well, people are. It's not a fair statement to say people are paying attention to it, or they just printed enough or they just printed enough because they were paying attention to what they've been selling in the past. Satiate, maybe, is the word I'm looking for. Satiate demand. Either way, it was nice to see some of those on the shelf. It really was. I'm loving the Disney covers too. I was a dope for not picking those up. Disney is a solid fandom of books to pick up. The Static Capel cover is also fantastic. I saw some other people in the community post that up. Luke has entered the chat. Luke, winner number 2 so far this season. Luke was winner of our Mission 2 unboxing. Burke Family 54 won the first one the third one, and Apprentice Ewok won the first one. We haven't quite seen Apprentice Ewok today yet. Maybe he'll pop in later. What's happening, Luke? Mark, good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Enjoy the warm temperatures where you're at. Yes. Love Little Monsters. Yes. Paul Dunn's not the only one, and there's more people in the community talking about it. Mitch Joel, thanks for being here. Good to see you, buddy. Mitch has always got a fantastic comment or two and an opinion about New Comic Book Day, so I appreciate you being here. Organizing your comic collection is super fun. I don't know that I would call it. Yeah, I would say it is fun. I wouldn't say super fun. Maybe I'm just on a different plane at my state in life, whereas it's cathartic. If I've got a day where I am very busy and I am emotionally uncharged, everybody think of yourself as a battery. And when you wake up in the morning, your battery bar is full. By lunchtime, your emotional energy is kind of getting down. And by the end of the day, if you don't have any emotional energy left, what do you do? What do you do to compensate for not having that emotional energy? Well, some people work out. Some people listen to music. Some people go out and dance and do other things. And there's some unhealthy habits that I'm just not going to discuss tonight. But like, I've been getting on the treadmill when I get home from work. That's been a solid 2.5 miles a day, which caused the instant nap session when I got home today because I was tired. But it's also very cathartic that I can kind of retract back into myself after being social all day long, listen to some music, just organize some books, and kind of get some of those quick dopamine hits, because completing some of those mini goals that you set within organizing and cleaning, this is going to sound silly. It might sound crazy to a lot of people out there. You get some dopamine hits. You get some rewards there. Just like working out, athletes and people that talk about work out, know that dopamine hit. They know that hormonal release and that calming effect that it can have. So for anybody that collects comic books, they if they're not self-aware of that, maybe they're just not they're not not as tired as I am some days, but there is a bit of a dopamine hit. There is a reward there when you complete a mini collection goal where it's like, I'm going to pull this one short box. I'm going to organize everything, get it to where it needs to be. That's going to be my goal for this afternoon, this evening, after about an hour. And then when you accomplish that, I'm super happy for that. And I hope you guys are too, if you're accomplishing that for yourselves. But yes, just got my plastic bins, the BCW. I need to organize as well. I'm starting over with Moon Knight. I wanted to wait to start reading until I had several issues. That's kind of where I'm getting a little bit too. Except for I started reading issue to issue on a lot of these arcs and runs. And now when I'm getting to issue 10, 15, 20, 30, now I'm finding myself wanting oh God, there's more of me now. Finding myself wanting to wait several more issues before I sit down and read, because maybe it's because I'm reading too many similar titles. But we are having a bit of I'm saying we again, holy moly, there must be a mouse in my pocket. A little bit of a difficult time bouncing from Star Wars story to Star Wars story, especially when you've got Star Wars The Blade, you got Star Wars High Republic The Blade, you got Star Wars High Republic Volume 2, you got Star Wars High Republic Adventures. I'm not going to lie, I am having a difficult time differentiating between the different High Republic titles because they're coming out pretty close together, if not on the same date sometimes. Cosmic One, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you every week and the energy you bring. You, as everybody else, helps recharge me. and really appreciate it. Why didn't the barber ask a question about beards? Because he was shaving it for later. That one's terrible. You're splitting hairs with that one, buddy. Organization is endless. Yeah, it is, and that's why it's kind of fun. It's kind of different, right? Not every day is the same. The Finder by Bad Idea is really good so far. I don't disagree with you, but Paul, this is where Paul and I have a little bit of odds where if we sit down and we have a pint or if we're having lunch together, something like that. Bad Idea is, I'm still not happy with Bad Idea because of the way they treated my LCS when my LCS asked to be a part of the Bad Idea release when Bad Idea first started. And Paul's like, here, he sent me a bunch of Bad Idea books to read. Is Bad Idea making good books worth reading? Yes. Am I able to buy any of them? No. Well, I mean, if I go to eBay or somewhere else, sure, but I don't want to pay secondary prices and I don't want to buy books secondary and pay secondary shipping. I'd like to support my LCS and buy my books in my LCS, and Bad Idea does not allow my LCS to get any of the Bad Idea books. So I love you, Paul. I love you to death. Seriously, I'm just not a. Dinesh is a very, very, very cool person. Very awesome human. Does great work. I just don't like the fact that I can't get Bad Idea books at my LCS. Art is phenomenal. Little Monsters is really good. Yeah. I'm liking I Hate Fairyland. So was that a volume 2? Yeah, that was volume 2. I've heard good things from other people. I enjoyed reading I Hate Fairyland volume 1 with modern men over on the Comic Core when we were doing that show. I just don't know that I loved it enough to focus paying for that run. I think I'd rather read it on Comixology and have that fun little, like, if we're driving to a convention, I feel like that would be a short volume that I could read on a ride. Have you received the Star Wars Insider? No, I didn't order it, and now I'm kicking myself, Ryan, because I saw it was either Drunk Wookie or somebody else that's a friend of mine. I saw it as I was scrolling. They posted it on IG, and hot dang, it looked amazing. That would be a book that I would buy a graded slab for. The problem is it would be a magazine-sized slab, and CGC is still behind with magazine-sized plastic cases and supplies of that nature. So I think that's why I didn't order it, because there's no point to me sending it to CGC because it's not going to get graded anytime soon. And I'm wondering if any of those brokers or dealers that do large quantities of books with CGC might have a little bit more pull and might get something back in a more reasonable time, and it might be more affordable. But as long as that doesn't, yeah, either way, I'm going to look for it on the secondary market and hope I don't have to pay too much to get it. I mean, it's a solid Ahsoka Mando cover. Are you doing mail call as well? No big deal. Just asking. We're 37 minutes in, and I received a package that deserves its own show. I'm going to take several minutes to talk about this. I had a box show up this week. And that box was no joke, like a foot tall, like 2 feet wide, and like a foot deep. And it was heavy. That box was 14, 15, 16 pounds, something like that. And I'm incredibly honored that Mr. Solo Wookie here, our brother in the community, sent me a box full of books. But they're not just any books. They're books that were important to him, and they're books that are going to be important to me. And it deserves its own show. And I'm trying to figure out how I can take pictures of everything to post on IG. Solo Wookie sent me every, like, I'm not kidding you guys here. Solo Wookie sent me every Punisher book that he's ever owned and purchased. Every single book. Books from War Journal Volume 1, books from Warzone Volume 1, books from Volume 2. There are several one-shots that, like the Punisher, the Big Prize, I haven't read that in 15, 16, 17 years. Really looking forward to reading that. Solo Brother, it deserves its own piece of content, its own show, as a shout out to you and a massive, massive member of the comic book community. I hate to try to squeeze it in here in 5 minutes because that table over there, there's 6 stacks of books over there, and every stack is about that high of nothing but solid Punisher books. Nothing but solid Punisher books. And it's amazing. And I don't want to downplay how much or how appreciative of that gesture that I am, and try to squeeze it in here into another show. I want that box to have its own piece of content, to be honest with you. That's it deserves that, and I didn't want to try to squeeze it into Comic News Weekly or into this episode, because we're not doing Monday mail calls right now. The mail call stuff is you don't want the Monday mail call show like I do, but the problem is the amount of stuff that you have to buy to make that a regular thing is not sustainable. That's why we're not doing a Monday mail call, is because I don't want to buy books that, one, I can't spend money on. I don't want to buy stuff that I'm not interested in collecting just to make content, because I want the content to be original and organic. This is why we go live. This is why I don't have a script. And this is why I enjoy spending time with you guys, because it's original, organic exchange, communication. That's why at the end of the show, what I guys tell you, one of the most important things that I think is stay original. You are who you are, and there's a reason for that. And everybody brings something to the table. And Solo Wookie, I'm telling you, brother, that deserves its own piece of content. So I want to find some time to sit down and show off that Punisher collection, because that Punisher collection is going to be special to me now. Coffee. Oh my God. Speaking of drinks, I love coffee. I can only have like 1 or 2 cups a day, though. I cannot overdo it. Batman and Joker, The Deadly Duo, is a great read also. Was that the cover that was all green today with Joker with the knife? They do the trade print so fine sometimes that as I walk by, I forget to look and see what title it was. Little Monsters, All Against All, Daredevil, and Ghost Rider were my favorites today. Awesome picks. Awesome picks. Oh my God, Daredevil. Why am I not talking about Daredevil? As a Punisher fan, now I'm regretting not getting onto Daredevil on issue 1, and now I'm 8 issues behind, and now we've got Daredevil and Punisher. So, Glenn, did you read? If anybody in the chat today read Daredevil, please leave a comment. Rate it 1 through 10. What was just your rating, and if you enjoyed it? Because now I got to get caught up on my other stuff, so I can read the Punisher volume that I wasn't reading, so that I can read the Daredevil run that I wasn't reading. Because now I have a reason. When they show that cover, there's Daredevil and Punisher getting ready to battle it out. I got to get on that now. Now they've got me excited. Actually, the guys on the Comic-Con podcast were talking about how good that Punisher run was, and they're making me feel a lot of regret for not jumping on that and reading that. At the time, the idea of the Punisher running the hand just didn't sound fun to me. It didn't sound like something I'd enjoy reading. Comic books equal recharge. I like that. I'll retort that with you for a second. Comic books equal recharge. The comic book community equals recharge. You guys equal recharge. Comic books are an inanimate object that we enjoy spending time with and reading, but more importantly, the exchange that we have together about comic books, that's what recharges me when people come in and want to talk new comic book day books. That's why I love doing this. That's why I'll probably never stop doing Wednesday. I might take a break here, I might take a break there when it's a light week and there's only a book or two. But at the end of the day, I get more out of this than you guys will ever understand sitting here and talking. And even though I'm staring at one person here on a screen, and I feel like I'm almost talking to myself sometimes, you guys here in the chat are a part of that. You guys in the chat are a part of that. And at some point, maybe we'll work it into content where we've got guests like the Comic Book Vet and other people that are doing that community hangout. But that community hangout is what they do. And I enjoy them for that, and I enjoy their content for that, but I don't know that I would necessarily want to mirror that. And also, we don't have anybody kicking in the door to come hang out on live on this channel with us. So that's why I'm enjoying the exchange and the way we do things right now. There's 22 people here watching live. I appreciate each one, every one of you. There was almost 30 people watching live at like the 20-minute mark. There's people that enjoy the content or at least stop by and then hit save to watch later and hit a thumbs up. We're at 17 thumbs up. If we can keep bumping that up, that just goes to show how many people stop by and check it out and then come back and watch the replay. Comic Corner has them. Oh, God, wow. Brian got good for them. Brian got in on that. Man, maybe I should buy him from Brian then. I've not read the first volume. Good news is Bad Idea books are easier to find in the Bad Idea stores. You mean the stores that Bad Idea is participating with? Because they are $8. They're $8 cover price now and aren't reselling for as much anymore. So if you want to read them, they are easier to get. Wow, $8 books? Like, that's DC cover B, like cardstock variant territory there. True, wouldn't come back for months. I just want to see your face. 18.6 pounds. Holy shit. Yeah, that box was huge. Solo Wookie's referencing the Punisher collection that he emailed me. Good on you, Solo Wookie. Very cool. Again, it's greatly appreciated. Punisher and the War Machine armor is a great run to have. Agreed. Drew Manchu of the Comic Corps actually sent me a chunk of that run wholeheartedly as a gift, and I greatly appreciate being able to read that. And now I'm going to keep that and hold on, because there's my Drew Manchu chunk of the collection right there. That's not going to... It's like a pedigree. We've got the Solo Wookiee Pedigree collection now too. And then the Final War Journal books at the end are rare and tough finds. Actually, Solo Wookiee had, I think, 1 or 2 in that box. I got to look at those. I've read War Journal Volume 1, but I was not picking up or reading the additional War Journal stuff that was coming out. So Patrick might have to educate me a little bit more on how rare and tough they are to find. You're good. Just wanted to see and hear you need it or not, and which ones may have helped or not. They all help. I'm going to have to delve into all the Volume 2 stuff that I do have. I cannot believe the sheer massive volume of newsstand edition Punisher Volume 2 late run books that you have, like 70s, 80s, like there's a lot of newsstand editions that you have, and those are from the late 90s. So not incredibly rare, but very difficult to find nowadays, to be honest with you, on the secondary market. That was the Joker, the man who stopped laughing. Okay, gotcha. But my LCS didn't have it. They must not have had it at mine either. Say when I'll come on with you, but be a lot of beard for one screen. That's true. That's true for sure. Come on, Mama says she would watch that. So that's the books. That's the chat. More and more announcements really quick before we end the show. Once again, the year of 2023 is that of the comic community. All super chats, all ad revenue, everything the channel generates is going to go back into the community. And it's funny we say that because I actually just got the statement from YouTube on how much the channel earned last year, just under $500 from you guys, the community, that was donated to Mission 22. And we did do an IG post about that. The community actually was able to donate substantially more to Mission 22 through Bronze Age Nerd. Bronze Age Nerd did several charities. A couple other people did several charity auctions. Not did several charities, but did several charity auctions. Bronze Age Nerd and several other people did for Mission 22. Everything that we did here last year did get donated to Mission 22. And I just got the earnings statement from YouTube. And I'm like, that's the first full year, start to finish, January 1st to end of December, the first full year that the channel earned an income. And I'm like, that's pretty neat. It's not like business level, like anything anybody could really live off in a year, but I'm super happy that we have that to show, and we donated that to Mission 22. X11 Bravo in the comics. What is up, brother? Speaking of Mission 22 and veterans and awesome people in the community. But again, this year is all going back into the community. Everything the channel makes. As an average right now, because of super chats, as an average, the channel's running about $30, making about $30 a month. So if you think about it, that's like $360 to $400 at the end of the year that we'll be able to spend on a graded comic book or two to give to the community. And it's like, I'm not talking like, here's a 9.8 of Little Monsters #1. I'm talking about, I want to find like a 2.0 Silver Age, like you know what I mean, Fantastic Four or Daredevil, something that Silver Age that I don't have myself, that I want to collect at some point, but that we can team up together and give back to the community. I think that would be absolutely effing amazing to find a super cool, because the phrase that always pays is low grade is better than no grade. That's a mentality that I want to start to get into and start getting further back into collecting. One of my collecting goals for this year, and I'm not going to do a collecting goals piece of content. We'll just talk about it as we go because it's organic. One of my collecting goals for this year is to finally realize the beginning of the goal of starting to get into collecting Golden Age Marine Corps books. And there are a couple of titles out there that have Marine Corps covers on there. There is a specific title that is the United States Marine Corps. Issue 1 is like an NN, like a no number, that I'd like to get. And then issue 2, 3, 4, 5, it's just Marine Corps history. And myself being a Marine Corps veteran, I want to collect some Marine Corps history, and I enjoy comic books. So I was gonna try to get into like the first piece of that collection. We were going to purchase the first Golden Age Marine Corps book that we could afford and find last year, and it didn't happen. Our collecting goals changed substantially in the middle of the year, and we focused more on Mission 22, and we decided to go that route. But the great legend himself, the Great Legend Show on YouTube, did already send over our first Marine Corps Golden Age book. Not graded, and it's in pretty decent shape, and I've got to find it. It's in the collection. That's another reason why we're trying to clean and organize everything to find it, because I'd like to send it off for grading. I think That's very special to me. The great legend himself sent that to me as a personal gift in a box of some other books. And but I want to find the first graded copy that I can afford and pick up sometime this year, so I can start kind of picking away at that. That's going to be one of the things that I pay close attention to going to conventions this year. Is I'll still focus on Star Wars modern stuff like Ahsoka Tana, and I'll still focus on Dr. Aphra keys. But I'm going to be looking really hard at the Golden Age booths, the booths where retailers have Golden Age books. I'm going to be looking really hard at those, trying to see if I can find a $100, $200, something affordable to get into as far as a graded Marine Corps Golden Age book. But Daredevil was great. This entire Zdarsky run has been one of my favorite reads the last couple of years. That first volume that Zdarsky did was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And then they went into the spinoff, and then they started over with issue one. It's just a new volume with Zdarsky on it. I think Zdarsky went to Batman for a hot minute, or is he still on Batman? Question mark. And then started the other Daredevil run. But a literal poop ton and fatly good grade. Some not as easy to find in the news. Yeah, wholeheartedly, man. So as we finish out announcements, it is my honor to officially announce here during my content that the Comic News Weekly show has migrated over to this channel. It is content that Simpleman's Comics, myself, Brian McClay from Beyond Wednesdays, and Ryan from Rhino's Comics have been doing for well over a year and a half. It's content for us in the community that we really enjoy doing. Brian has wanted to kind of dial back what he's doing on his channel, and he's keeping his channel. He's still going to be doing YouTube content to a degree at some point when he finds what he's looking for. And Brian still wants to be a part of the Comic News Weekly, and he's still going to be a part of that. He's just passing that torch over here so that we can keep it fueled, and we can keep it warm, and we can keep it ready for Brian when he's ready to accept that back on his channel. And I am honored to carry that torch for Brian for the foreseeable short-term future here. So every Tuesday, Comic News Weekly will be going strong unless we say, hey, we're taking a week off. And Mondays are still going to be The Last of Us. Are you going to NWI Comic-Con Center? Yes, I am, Josh. I hope there are other people in the community. I'm going to wash you guys, please note, I have way more than one hoodie and way more of one of the same t-shirt, and I wash them all regularly. This is my brand. This has become my brand now. My favorite backwards ball cap. This is a Veterans Day military appreciation for the Detroit Tigers Veterans Day hat, and my Till Valhalla gear and my beard. This is my brand. This is who I am. This is me staying original, and I'm going to continue to stay original. And if you guys see me at NWI Comic Con, don't hesitate to stop and say, Andy, don't forget to take a picture, because I'm terrible at remembering to take pictures. Myself, and I believe Skeff's Comic Knowledge is going to be meeting me. We're going to be meeting him there. I hope to see Chip Zdarsky. It's been a year since I've been able to hang out with Chip Zdarsky. No, it's been half a year since I've been able to hang out with Chip Zdarsky, and really miss him as well. And I miss hanging out with a lot of people in the community. It's been a busy winter, and we haven't been to a con in a hot minute since Baltimore. Baltimore was our last convention. So I'm really looking forward to going to a little mini con. Maybe we can pick up a couple of small books, or maybe just spend time with the people and then head back home. It's a bit of a hefty drive, but we'll definitely be there. Hope to see you as well. Slabalicious Comics will be there. He was there last year. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, rounding out the announcements, Monday, Last of Us, episode 4 was out and was a solid episode. Not as good as the last 3, but a solid episode. And I think they're doing a great job. I did have some complaints on our last episode. So if you're watching The Last of Us and you've seen it and are caught up, go back at the channel header page and you'll see The Last of Us content at the top. We're doing a recap episode every week. And don't forget, this Friday, 9 p.m., The Last of Us airs because Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday. So that's going to be a fun weekend. And Wednesday, New Comic Book Day Wednesday will be here like always. Thursday, I don't really have content planned, and Fridays are going to be CDC live unboxings. We're taking this Friday off, though, and we'll reevaluate when we get to do not when we get to, but when we decide to do the next one, because if I can't afford to grade 10 books, have 10 books a week coming back. It's like $300 every time you grade 10 books roughly. So it's like, if you did that 4 times a month, that's $1,200. That's a lot of freaking money to spend on grading comic books. We can't do that many, but I will say CGC is burning through the books so fast. They're grading the books so dang fast. The books that we are sending out in clumps to get pressed in clean are getting graded faster than I can even sort them and send new books out. Kenneth, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Please watch the replay. We're just ending the episode. Icebox Comics, hey to everybody. Yes, thanks for being here, everybody. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the notify on the content. We are starting to make sure, last announcement, that the content is all scheduled for the week by the end of Sunday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday. By Sunday night, all of the content should be scheduled. The YouTube notification system is terribly broken. So if you're a subscriber of the channel, like I'm a subscriber of many channels out there, I'm not getting notifications, which leads me to believe that you guys aren't getting notifications either. So we're scheduling all the content out every Sunday so that it's all up on the channel all for the week. So if you have a favorite show, if you want to be here for every show, just go to the channel every Sunday night or Monday morning and just click notify on each episode and click a thumbs up, and you're guaranteed to get a notification at that point. That's kind of that stopgap that you'll get a notification. You do have to go to that content and click notify me on there, because the simple subscribership of a channel and you click the ring the bell so that you get all notifications, that's broken. That's been far broken for several years now, and they just don't repair it. They just don't have a way of fixing it. I don't know. But we're going to make sure that we're scheduling all of our content, or attempting to schedule all the content on Sunday, so that they're up for people to see. So every time you stop by and check the channel, all going to be scheduled. You can click notify on everything and thumbs up or thumbs down on everything, whatever your preference is. And then you don't miss out, because I don't want to miss out on spending time with you guys at all. If it ain't played on ice, I don't typically watch it. Hockey, yeah. Have a great night, Josh, to you as well. I hope to see you Saturday at NWI Comic-Con. I didn't get a notification for today. Yeah. Part of that's my fault for not scheduling this show on Sunday. I didn't schedule it until yesterday or last night, so most people probably didn't even see the episode get scheduled until this morning or this afternoon. And then Icebox didn't get a notification at all. I'm sure you were scrolling through and just saw that we happened to be live. So Icebox, we're going to work to make sure that all of the content every week is scheduled on Sundays, so that people have several days of opportunity to go through, click the notify me on each specific episode, each specific piece of content, so that people do get those notifications. But once again, if you guys can't tell, I'm effing recharged now, and I'm ready for the rest of the week. Hit the ground running with the right foot forward. And it's time to get everything a little bit more organized, right? Yes, have a fantastic evening, everybody. You guys know how I do this here. I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go pinkies out. I'm going to catch you all on the flip side. Remember, the most important part all day, every week. Stay original, because you are enough. Have a good night, everybody.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Excuse me while I change. The roller buggy has made me